Hi, I'm Granny, and we're going down the rabbit hole of the Sahara and the Amazon, episode 3. So, what does this desert like the Sahara with all of its fossils, patterns of green Sahara, dry Sahara, green Sahara, dry Sahara, and the Milankovitch cycle have to do with the Amazon? The Sahara feeds the Amazon and other areas where the Saharan desert dust lands and deposits on plants and animals and soils, in addition to lakes and streams and oceans. The Amazon rainforest depends on the dust from the Sahara to flourish. In short, the Sahara is a large compost pile. Composting is a way to create fertilizer that is cheaper, and my experience has been better than what you can buy at the store. There is a science behind how to create an effective compost, but in easy terms, people use leaves, grass cuttings, kitchen veggie waste, old plants, and some add enzymes and worms to help the process of decomposition. The compost pile needs to be turned regularly to speed up that process. You can see it in a forest as mushrooms growing out of old fallen trees. Next to clouds, African dust storms are the largest objects of Earth seen from satellites. Most of this dust is from the Baudelaire, and there are many variations of how to pronounce that word. I'm just going to go with Baudelaire Depression in the nation of Chad in the southern area of the Sahara. The Baudelaire Depression is an ancient lake bed where rock minerals composed of dead or microorganisms. Think of what we have learned in the past about plants, whales, crocodiles, turtles that have been found in the Sahara. They've been decomposing. Yeah, it's like a compost pile. And this dust is loaded with phosphorus. And phosphorus is essential for the nutrients, the essential nutrient for plant proteins and growth. This is crazy. Estimates of 28 million metric tons, or 62 billion pounds of African dust, falls in the Amazon River basin. And I forgot to designate, and I think that was a yearly. There are about 390 billion trees in the Amazon, which includes 16,000 different species. Most plants absorb nutrients through their leaves, branches, bark, and roots that land on them. Like, imagine that is one way the Sahara fertilizes the plants in the Amazon basin and other areas. Scientists have found Saharan dust along the east coast of the United States and also in Texas. And Texas is over 7,000 miles from the Sahara. Saharan dust also acts like a CCN, which is cloud condensation nuclei. Have you ever heard of cloud seeding? Most cloud seeding operations uses a compound called silver iodide to aid in the formation of ice crystals. To create a raindrop, the moisture has to be attached to something. Most of the precipitation on land relies on the ice crystal process, where water droplets in clouds freeze into ice crystals, which then grow larger, and the weight then has them drop through the atmosphere, and the ice changes to raindrops the warmer it falls through the air. And sometimes you will look across a valley or whatever, and you'll see that there's a cloud, and you can see some of the clouds have released their moisture, but that moisture, also called verta, I believe, never makes it to the ground, but it does stay in the air. Anyway, so the Saharan dust is a natural form of cloud seeding. Think of this. In the summer, when you go and get yourself a nice big ice drink and you take it outside and even inside, where all of a sudden you'll notice it's wet on the outside, well, that is the moisture from our environment attached to the can because of the difference in temperature. The Sahara sands, which is the result of many years of decomposing plants and animals, gets picked up into the air like that beautiful spider web I mentioned, and is carried thousands of miles, not only to the Amazon and North and South America, but it gets deposited into lakes and rivers and streams. There are many reasons why the soil in the Amazon rainforest is considered poor, making it dependent on the Saharan dust. The hot, humid climate of the rainforest causes dead organic matter to decompose really quickly. Now, for us, we have to keep turning it, and it normally takes about 6 months, and you turn, and it heats up. You can put a thermometer in there, and as it starts developing, it can get really hot. Anyway, but not in the rainforest. It doesn't take that long for it to go through that cycle. Heavy rainfall washes the nutrients out of the soil. Plus, the Amazon soil is acidic, making it difficult for many of the plants to access the nutrients. The soil in the Amazon basin is thin and sandy and has lost its fertility over time. Also, much of the nutrients are stored in the plants themselves, not in the soil. And I know of some plants that, like house plants, the peace lily, you're not supposed to fertilize. It creates its own nutrients from the sun. Just like we create vitamin D by exposing our skin to the sun. The heavy rains of the Amazon wash the leftover nutrients into the water that flows to the ocean and then carried through the currents around the world. When we earlier talked about the huge whirlpools and lakes and streams and oceans, their value is bringing nutrients to the surface that provides nutrition for all plant and animal life. So I suspect the Amazon fertilizes the oceans and our fish too. The next time you look at sand, whether it's in a large area like Death Valley or on a beach or even a bucket of sand, realize that there is history in that bucket, beach, desert, including nutrients of great value. Thanks for spending this time with me. Please join me again when Granny goes down the rabbit hole. Please subscribe and share. Thank you very much.